I lost a good friend of mine due to some complications or some things. And this week, unfortunately for me, for some, you may have celebrated the holidays, but for me, it was a very rough one. I don't know if it was the retrograde ending, the last of the retrograde coming to a close, or whatever the case may be, but this week was not the greatest week for me as far as business is concerned, but that's a personal thing. It does not have anything to do with you guys. But over the last few weeks before the detox camp started, I have been making a few videos, and the video that I made earlier this week was cut them off so you can heal. In the midst of me starting that video, which was only supposed to be 30 minutes to get everybody prepared, I got cut off. And my page was suspended for at least 4 days. I appealed because I said nothing disrespectful, and then within a few hours, they reinstituted the page. Then I do another video, and nothing out of context. I even had a video which I used a cuss word, no problems at all. Then I go and I make another video, and then all of a sudden I get flagged again. And mind you all, I've been having these warnings to come in, and they now, I come in today to go over my files because I just took on 2 new clients. They stated, and I quote, they permanently banned my page, which I'm on right now. So I immediately looked over what they said, which is what caused it. And I've been getting all these different warnings, but I don't know why. And I sent them a message. At this moment, I just decided, you know what? I'm going to just finish up one last month to get everybody that's following me to go to the YouTube page, which I'm also on now. Shout out to my YouTube family. And if you all would like to hear more of the content that I speak on here before I stop making content here, you can go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel was called We Ride for a Cure. Originally, that was the page that I was doing all this on. And I just said, okay, I'm not going to just go off. So what I am going to do for the next 30 days, I will do my content here. I'm going to try to do a video every day. I'm going to try my best to do a video every day on here and have everybody go to the YouTube page. The YouTube page is called We Ride for a Cure. The only time that you will see a video that I made on this content will be videos that I made between now and 4 years ago. And only updates on the videos that you can look forward to seeing on the YouTube channel. After January, I will no longer make any more content on this channel. If I do a video, it will probably be 3 minutes long, letting you know where to go and what the discussion will be on that page. I will still check out and see what's going on, messages or whatever, but I'm done being on this social media platform, and I'm going through these unnecessary problems on this page when I've seen people that have been way more disrespectful, out of pocket, cussing everybody out, saying some things that should be checked. And here I am talking about things that you can go and read up, and they're giving me flash warnings, and then they're cutting me off, and then they're suspending the page. And I just had my full of it. I just had my fill. So I appreciate everybody. Thank y'all for watching my videos. Thank you for watching the first video that I got famous for, talking about my cancer story, and all the 8 million views, and the over 400 people who have watched, over the 30,000 people who have watched the videos, who shared my one video 3,000 times, which made 8 million views, talking about my cancer story. Thank you all to everybody who, when the COVID, when we had COVID, You guys paid attention to the instructions, and we had no one that followed the instructions pass away from complications of that thing. Thank you all for sharing the videos. Thank you all for letting people know that you can get that out of your system. Thank you, everybody that followed the regiments and listened to what everyone needs to pay attention to about your diets, because you can win. And just thank you all for listening to me. Can you add your YouTube to your bio? I'll try. I'm still not good with all this, sis, but I'll do my best. But if you all can, We Ride for a Cure is the page. So I'm going to get into it. This is part 3 of Cut Them Off So You Can Heal. So I'm taking some time right now because I'm on my laptop working on some videos. I want to talk about why you are depressed. So if you all will be so kind, take notes. The detox camp for the next 21 days is dedicated to cutting off unwanted energy that is stopping you from reaching your goal. And I'm going to tell you, as I said a couple of nights ago, what I learned. And that is, I'm going to start by using Andre Taylor and some of the words that he used. Everything breaks down to values. When you lose value, people lose respect for you. I don't care what you're going through in life. The minute that you lose value to yourself, people stop respecting you. And I learned that the hard way. And it cost me 8 years of my life. 8 years of my life. Okay? 8 years of my life. Because I let my continence fall. Do you understand? So once you start doing that to yourself, you start getting upset because things ain't working out the way that you want, because you see somebody else living their best life and you stuck, and the people that you're trying to impress is looking at you and they're losing faith in you, and your so-called real friends that you think that they are really showing you that they're not really your friends at all. They was just on the bandwagon, and something comes over you where you end up just feeling like nothing's working your way and you're upset, and then you start getting sad and you start beating yourself up. This is where the depression kicks in and it starts activating that adrenaline in your blood, and it feeds the wrong energy. And it gets so bad that whatever you are thinking, your cells actually transfigure itself to that vibration. And then you start attracting people, and they start bringing things into your life that do nothing but make it worse for you. I'm talking about drugs. I'm talking about alcohol. I'm talking about bad environments. I'm talking about doing things just for a simple pleasure principle that will end up hurting you down the line. And you'll be sitting back trying to figure out, what was I thinking? You understand? So I want to talk to you all about this tonight, not because I want you to give me likes. I don't mind the likes. I ain't asking for no money. I'm talking about, how do we fix this problem? Okay? You fix this problem by doing this. Stop feeling bad about trying your best to be the best at what you do. Stop feeling bad about trying to be good to someone that no longer wants to be around you. Stop feeling bad when someone that you love no longer loves you enough to stick by you when things are going in the opposite direction of where you want it to go. Stop feeling bad that the man that you love has interest in somebody else, because that may be a blessing by the Most High to remove that person. That you probably had all of these signs in front of you and you wasn't paying attention to it. Okay? Stop being upset when you are trying your best to move forward in life. And the reason why things are not moving forward is because you are holding on to people that don't have your best interests. And you have to start learning how to hold on to you, your core values, and to that divine source that blessed you to open up new ideas and try and do something greater than the environment that you're in. Stop feeling bad about people that do not respect and honor your greatness, because they're looking at something down the line that looks good for that moment, and you're seeing something that's greater down the line. Stop feeling bad. Stop crying. Stop getting depressed. Get up and continue on your destination to be great. I had somebody who I was with that I'm no longer with anymore, and that tore me up. And thankfully, I took the steps and I started going to therapy. There is nothing wrong with going to therapy and trying to find yourself, because there may be somebody in that room that have gone through what you've gone through and can help you get out of that rut that you put yourself in. Didn't nobody else put you in that rut. You put yourself in that rut because you are listening to the negative side of your brain tell you that you're lost. You're not lost. I'm looking at the post. He said, nah, that's not true. Well, listen, shout out to Keyspoon Thick. I hope I said your name right. I'm on 2 social media platforms. You got the floor. Speak your piece. I want to hear your side. I ain't saying I know everything. I'm just speaking from my experience. All right, you heard? All right. So I'm on my YouTube page as well. Hopefully the person that just made this statement, he said, nah, that's not true. I'm speaking from my experience. So I want to hear from your experience. So you got the floor, bro. You got the floor. So I'm saying this to say, I'm going to stick to my point. I'm going to stick to my guns, LOL. The moment that you allow yourself to go downhill, it can affect you in your health. So you got to build yourself up. There's nothing wrong with trying. But when you fail, get yourself back up. If you lose it, get back up and get it back. But at the end of the day, learn how to cut people off that mean no good to you. It's very easy for people to get caught up and messed up in their ideas, trying to do something that somebody in their circle can't understand. It doesn't mean you can't take advice. But the moment you start allowing yourself to go downward, that's when the sickness comes in. All right. So I haven't heard the my response yet, but hopefully I'll get a response. So I remember I was in the hospital and I had just lost a job that was supposed to be very lucrative for me. And it would have given me an opportunity to take care of a lot of the things that I needed to handle at that time. I don't know what's going on with my body. But I had just left an apartment because I was at this time, I'm separated from now my ex-wife. I have no idea what I'm going to experience after I get out this hospital. I don't know what's going on with my body. I passed out in my washroom. I'm bleeding. I don't know what's going on. I'm 30 pounds underweight now because of what happened. I was sitting in this bed. I done had 2 blood transfusions. I don't know what's going on. And my ex-wife walks into the room. And of course, she we just separated. And she asked me, "What are you going to do now?" And I figured she meant, what am I going to do when I get out of here? She's asking me, what am I going to do now? We're separated now. She done moved into her place. You know, I'm practically living in my shop. What she didn't know, and anybody else, was I was about to move to Florida to start a new gig. That once I finished, and I'm telling you all step by step, when I finished, it would have put enough money in my pocket to pack up and leave Chicago, move to Florida, and for the next 3 months, I'm working one of the biggest jobs that I ever had. Now I lost the job. I had to return the deposit money that this company gave me to come out there. My big bro, who has a place out there, he's like, man, when you're ready, just come on. I don't know what's going on with my body. I'm in the hospital for 5 days. The day that I was on my way to Florida was the day I ended up in the hospital. Follow me. I left the apartment that I lived in. I didn't want to be in there because I didn't want to deal with the memories of being married to somebody, and now I'm no longer with this person, and I'm in this house that I was in for almost 7 years. I don't, well, 5 years at the time. I don't want no memories of it. I'm depressed. All I can think about is working on my biker brand because I had just started it that year, which is We Ride Biker for Life. This is where the We Ride for a Cure page gets its origins from. She asked me, what am I going to do now? And I told her, I'm going to do this We Ride thing. This is a movement. And the next thing that came out of her mouth, and I will never forget it, who's going to follow a t-shirt movement? I will never forget that moment when she said that. And she said it with one straight breath. She didn't pause, nothing. She simply asked me, who's going to follow a t-shirt movement? I'm already messed up. Mind you, this person just moved on. And that stuck with me all night. I ended up watching this thing on TV. It was an actual political campaign. I can't remember who. It was a Senate. And the Senate, one of the senators, he had said that when he was a kid, and please listen to what I'm saying because this is all going to make sense. The senator said online, when I was a kid, I wanted to open up a business. And I did everything I could to open up this business. And I saved up the money to get all the materials that I needed to make this business run. And I started this business over the summertime before I went to college. And I tried to get this business going so well, it just did not go the way that I wanted it to go. But I didn't stop. I kept going. I go to college. I do it for a year and a half, 2 years pass. The business still ain't picking up. And I end up just losing my spirit in doing this business. And I just said to myself, I'm just going to quit. And I told my father, this is the senator, I told my father that I'm going to quit the business and just go get a job because it's not working. And his father said to him, I want you to listen to me and listen to me really good. And this is the message that I'm giving you all. If you feel like everything is closing in on you, please follow me on this. If you feel as if anything that you're trying to do is not working and everything is just closing down on you and you feel like quitting, I'm going to tell you what this guy said. And this gave me some energy when I heard this. I'm still 30 pounds underweight. I don't know what's going on with me. I feel like everything is lost. This guy's father said, and I quote, "Don't you ever let me hear you ever come out of your mouth and say that again. Get up and get on your job. Because the minute that you quit, they win. Everyone that doubted that you had the ability to make this work, everyone that thought that what you was doing was a failed project in the beginning, if you quit, they win." That was in 2014, September 24th, or September 25th, 2014. When I saw that message, that lit me up, and I literally got back on my job, and I got out of that hospital. I went to Tennessee for 2 weeks. I went to Tennessee 1 week, came back, went back to Tennessee the next week, and promoted my brand. And I didn't quit. When I came back home, that's when I found out that I had colon cancer. And I was devastated. I want you to listen to me, y'all, because I want you all to take these next videos that I'm going to be making for the last month on this page like ammunition. When I found out that I had cancer, listen to what I'm saying, because now I'm speaking on it now, because one thing that therapy has done for me, it's taught me to open up my mouth and not to just be ready for anything that comes, but to be fully prepared, because I'm confident in what I'm saying, because it's reestablished the faith that I had in myself and the value that I've always had. I just didn't see it at the beginning. When I got that message that I had cancer, hold on, y'all. When I found out that I had cancer, I called 2 people. Now, my ex-wife, and then a friend of mine by the name of Tony Lampkin. And I told her what I had. The expression from what she said, it was dead. No disrespect for it, but listen, I'm telling you what I don't care. It hurt. I'm already hurt that she doesn't want to be with me anymore. I'm already hurt that I got to go through this, and I am alone. And now I got cancer. And I called my friend Tony Lampkin. My friend Tony Lampkin represents the lifeline. My ex-wife represents the ending of that cord. I was just too caught up in the sauce to realize this was a blessing in disguise. And I was not realizing that because of what happened. You all follow me on this page. You all are listening to me. When I called Tony Lampkin, I told him, man, I just found out I got cancer. He calls me and he says, give me 30 minutes. I'm going to call you back. I'm looking at a page. Hey, I hear what you're saying. No disrespect. I respect that. Indeed, indeed, indeed. We call it Christ consciousness. Respect. I sat in that shop for 30 minutes. As silent as it is in this background, I sat in that shop. All I could think about is, I could possibly die from this. And right after I said that, I want you all to hear me out. I said, out of all the things that I'm going through, you give me this ish. F you, I'm not dying. War MF, bring it. And that's the attitude that I kept till this day. I didn't let nothing or nobody stop me from what I said I was going to do. I said at that moment, I was working on an art series of biker art. I said, if I do 7 art pieces and I get them out to all of my biker family, all these pictures in these biker clubhouses, and I happen to pass away from complications of cancer, then I did what I said I was going to do. I did what I said I was going to do, but I was not going to die unfulfilled. That's the message. Do not allow your life to go unfulfilled. You have a purpose, because everything breaks down to values. Thank you, Mr. Andre Taylor. Everything breaks down to values. You have to get back to valuing yourself. You are valuable. I don't care if you don't have a job, if your wife leaves you, if your husband leaves you, if you homeless like I almost was. You have to value yourself. When I told my ex-wife I was going to do this We Ride thing, this is a movement, that was the power of the Most High giving me a spark to keep moving. And I used that art that I created back in 2014 to give me ammunition. Till this day, I am the only African-American / Aboriginal dark-skinned hued biker artist in the planet, documenting biker stories from the African-American perspective. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. I kept that energy going. Now, remember I said 7 murals, right? 7. That was in 2014. It's over 74 murals today. Do you hear what I'm saying? The condition that I had should have took me out in 6 months. It's been 10 years. 7 years cancer-free. Do you hear what I'm saying? I didn't quit. When I told my sisters what I had, I didn't say that I had it. They kept trying to get me to say it. Just admit what you got. I said, I'm not going to admit to this. I'm not surrendering. My other sister, the Tam, that's my oldest. Candace, that's my twin sister. Okay, because I got twin sisters. Candace is crying and boo-hooing. She over emotional. And I'm like, I don't know what you're crying for. I ain't finna die from this ish. And I meant it. That same week, my friend Tony introduced me to who was my elder, Mr. Chris Williams. And for 30 days, I was a student. That same week when I started my classes with this man, I met the late, great Dr. Sabi. I went to, I think I got a new, I think I got a new fan here. Frugals, Nathan, much love. Chris Williams taught me everything that I need to understand about my condition. But Dr. Sabi said something to me when I met him, because he did a lecture at my old school. Shout out to Finger High School. When I told him that I had cancer, this man said these words to me. Listen to what I'm saying. When I told him that I found out I had cancer, and he said, what kind of cancer you got? And I said, colon. That man said, and I quote, "Oh, you get rid of that real quick." Did you hear what I just said? Oh, you get rid of that real quick. So you can imagine the energy that sparked across me when he said that. For real? And that's when he broke it down to me. This is why I'm saying to you all, don't let your countenance fall. Colon cancer is highly connected to stress for a man. Just like breast cancer is highly connected to a woman. And do you know what they all have in common? They all start on the left side of the body. Meditate, fast, pray, have personal mantras that you say to yourself to keep your confidence up. Learn how to walk and move in silence. Learn how to find your sanctorium, your sacred space, and pray and meditate and put yourself in that God mode so that these things will not affect you anymore, including the words of people that do not get that their words sometimes hurt instead of encourage. Find your sacred space and start energizing that God self inside of you, because that is what is going to keep you going. And that sacred space is the divine that is in every one of us. See, the Most High finds a way to humble you so that you can start listening. Because we're not listening. Because if we were listening more, we wouldn't be sick. We wouldn't have a dis-ease called disease, because we stopped listening and we stopped being honest with ourselves. Because, and I'm going to use my testimony, and I said this to my ex-wife, the moment that I tried my best to impress and please and satisfy others instead of trying to make sure that I was happy with myself was when I started dying. Do you all hear what I'm saying? So this is the reason why I will no longer, after January, be on TikTok doing these videos, because I'm tired of being flagged for telling the truth. And I'm going to work on my own Patreon page, so you may have to pay for them lessons, but I promise you, it's going to be like a sniper. One shot, one, ooh. Everything that I'm going to speak on, you'll be able to take, utilize it, and within 7 to 30 days, you should see improvement, because you are investing in yourself. The greatest gift that I had the opportunity of experiencing is going to therapy and actually seeing people who went through what I've went through. The same way that when I talk to somebody that's dealing with cancer and they have these situations going on, I can speak to them because I've been there. Not like a quote unquote medicinal practitioner that you don't know, that has never experienced what you experienced, and they're giving you something that they haven't even taken themselves. And then when it doesn't go right, they want to give you something else instead of saying, I'm so sorry that this didn't work for you. Instead, you're listening to a person that went through something in his life for 8.5 years. And I'm sharing my experiences so that you don't make the mistakes that I made as a man, taking accountability for what I didn't do, but still getting up and saying, I'm still here. That's why I named this We Ride for a Cure. Now, I don't even use that word anymore, but first thing that people ask me is, can you help me cure cancer? No. We're going to stop that. You don't cure it. You do not CURE the problem. You KILL that problem so it don't come back. You understand what I'm saying? You have to realize that you are responsible for the reason that you're in that situation. You haven't taken accountability yet. I had to take accountability. Don't wait 4 or 5 years later to realize it. Look in the mirror. I take accountability, but I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make it right. And the people that leave you, that remove themselves from you, they were supposed to remove themselves from you because they was never there for you in the first place. And if they were tired and they were ready to go, it's because they already had planned leaving anyway. They just needed an excuse. I stand on it because I've seen it happen. Okay? Going to therapy for me, my ear ringing. I hope it's some money. Again, everything breaks down to values. I say this in my book. You have to find that moment where you are silent. You have to find that moment where you are listening to people that are going to keep you motivated. That is going to keep you motivated to go further in your life. You're going to have to look at yourself and say, I'm going to take this step to better myself. But you got to do it for you. You can't do it for your girlfriend. You can't do it for your boyfriend. You can't do it for your husband, your wife. You can't even do it for your children. You got to do it for you. Because if you're doing it for everybody else, you're still empty. They're going to appreciate it, but they're not going to value it like you valued it. Okay? Richard, you funny. So once you get into that space where you're actually sitting, write down what is going on with you. Write down why you feel the way that you feel. This is important. Why am I messed up? Why am I in this situation? Why did this person leave me? Whatever it is, write it down. Get a phone, get a laptop, record yourself. Start writing down everything in a diary. Tara, that's you. Hey, sis. Mwah. Write down what it is that is going on with you. And read it over and over and over again. Read it over and over again. Like that's Richard, you tripping. Read it over and over again. That's where you're going to find your tools to fix the issue. Get a calendar. Put on that calendar, by this time, I am going to get this situation under wrap. Some of you all are overweight. Y'all ain't working out. Y'all sitting watching TV and watching everybody else live their lives, and you depressed because you ain't doing that. Depression happens because so many people are looking at everybody else live their best life, and you want to be in that situation. But you're not getting up and making the effort to actually see yourself in a better situation. That's because you didn't put it on paper. You didn't focus on what you want. Your life is like a picture. I'm an artist by trade. How many of you all know I'm an airbrush artist? You have to actually pay attention to what you are focusing on. I want to get this car. I want to get this money. I want to get out of debt. You know what you do? You put yourself in a situation where you're looking at what everybody else has and you're imagining being in that situation, but you're not observing what you're doing that's keeping you from being there. I'm going to say that again. You're imagining having this money. You're imagining going to these places and being rich and all this, but you're not observing why you are in the situation that you're in that's preventing you from doing that. That's why you write it down. You put what you need to do on paper. It's like when I do artwork, I have to focus and visualize the picture, how I want it to come out, and I get all of my tools together, and I do a quick rehearsal on how I'm going to put the picture together before I actually start painting. And then after I get that, then I'm looking at all of the errors that I can make. You leave a little room for error. Leave a little room for error. This is why you all have these disappointing moments, because you don't leave room for error. You're going to make mistakes. It's the same thing when you're going through healing your body. When you've never done it before, you're going to make mistakes. It comes with the territory. When I started going through my treatment with my herbs, with my elder, I got hospitalized 3 times. The second time I went in, I'm overworking because I didn't know if I was going to make it. I'm overworking myself because I wanted to get these pictures done. I wanted to get this brand out. And I finally started seeing the brand start to get popular. People were buying my products. People were buying my clothing. People were buying my paintings. I'm busy. And I decided I was going to take a break because I really was overworking myself and people were concerned. Not everybody knew I had cancer. And then I ended up back in the hospital again. I went and I got my products ready to go online. My godmother gave me some money to open up a website. I was like, okay, boom. Now remember I told you what my ex-wife said, right? I'm going harder now. I gained about 10 pounds after losing that weight, 12 pounds to be exact. I'm back in the hospital again. Thankfully, I didn't have to do another blood. I didn't have to do any more blood transfusions because my blood count was perfect. But I was just overstressing myself out. My elder called me up when I was in the hospital. I'm like, Doc, I'm bleeding, man. I'm bleeding. This rectorial bleeding is messing with me. He told me, I'm gonna show you a breathing technique that's gonna stop you from bleeding. But I need you to calm down. I teach my clients this as well. If you all want me to show you all how to do it, this isn't just for that. It's a good breathing technique. Tibetan monks use it. He learned it. He studied 3 different types of martial arts. He taught me how to do this. If you want to learn it, I'll show it to you all online. Richard, if you are watching, thank you. It is my product is called We Ride Biker for Life. My supplements are called Ammo Packs and Power Water. That's my herbal supplements that I give my clients when they go through the regimen. My biker products are We Ride Biker for Life. You can look that up. You can go on the YouTube page, We Ride BFL, bro. We Ride BFL. You can see all my videos and the artwork and everything, okay? So let me know if you got that. Chief, inbox me, gratitude. So, and thank you all for the likes. Jazzy, thank you for the likes. Thank you so much. So, we got some people that came on. Connor Smith, gratitude. Thanks for watching. We've been on for about 45 minutes. Thank you all for staying there with me. Let me continue with the story. I get in. I'm going in. He tells me this, and this is where I want to go into. I'm in the hospital for the second time. This is late March 2015. He teaches me a breathing technique that before I went to the hospital, it stopped the bleeding in 10 minutes. I go to the hospital the next day. Gratitude, Rich, I see you. I go to the hospital the next day. I'm there for 5 days. We go through the notes. Now, remember I tell you all, keep your notes. Brother Williams told me, You're not taking your supplements 3 times a day. My elder he makes herbal supplements for his clients. So each one is for that client. Okay. Now I'm still 162 pounds. I lost 30 pounds prior to all this happening. When he explained to me, I gave you the supplements to take 3 times a day because 3 times a day you're fighting the radical cells the same way that a person who takes chemotherapy is fighting the cancer cells without the side effects. That's when he broke down to me the growth stages of cancer cells in my condition. He broke it down so scientifically that when we were done, when I left the hospital the second time, I was amped and ready to go. Approximately 21 days later, please remember to number 21 for a reason. 21 days later, I had parasites the size of shoestrings that came out of me for 4 days straight. I was in Memphis, Tennessee when it happened. I was 162 pounds. Early April 2015 with my biker club. When I came home, my energy levels started going up. I went from barely doing 20 push-ups to 300 push-ups a day. I'm running. I'm feeling better. I don't have no more pain in my coronary area. I'm feeling better. My muscle tones is coming back. I'm feeling the strength in my hands again. And I'm working harder, but more effectively. My hunger came back. I'm eating good. This is what a detox for 21 days did for me. Got it? That same year, my father-in-law, Brother Dominic, he passed away from complications of bone cancer. I didn't know he had it. My ex-wife, she told me. Now, mind you, at this time, 2 weeks after I find out I got cancer, she calls me and says she wants to file for divorce. So I'm already devastated about that. I mean, golly, I just can't get a break. I just can't get a break. I watched her father when I went to go see him at the hospital. I told him, I got you. I started working on his regimen immediately because I saw what it did for me. The next day, he passes away. I'm messed up. That man had my back, that man had my back. Good dude. When I went to that man's funeral, I was at my original weight of 183 pounds. I'm solid. When they saw me at that funeral, everybody looked at me and was like, oh my God, you look good. Including my ex-wife. You hear what I'm saying? She couldn't believe how I looked. She looked at me and was like, oh my God. This is why the detox is so important. This is why you got to start cutting people off that no longer mean you any good. No disrespect towards anybody. But I'm saying this to you all because you're sick because of your environment. You're not sick because you're eating the bad stuff. No, you're sick because your environment is not healthy. It's not inspiring you or inspiring you to move forward in your life to be great. Everybody's depressed because everybody's looking at what everybody else is doing and they're not being the key factor in being great. They're looking at somebody else's house. They're looking at somebody else's car. They're looking at somebody else's woman, somebody else's man, and they're bad. They're upset because they want what they got. No, you don't. Because when you get that, listen to where I'm about to go with this. When you ask for something and you get it, you better be ready to accept what you got and give thanks, even if it didn't work. I am grateful that I had an opportunity to say that I was married to somebody that I thought about no one else but that person. I truly love that woman. There was nobody else in my eyes. I had no desire to cheat. I look forward to being with this woman until my dying day. And I stand on that to this day. And you know what? When you get off of your square, you feel like you a loser. That's what divorces do to people. It makes them feel like you are a loser. And everybody's looking for the opportunity to get up with your girl, to get up with your guy. And yes, people say, well, you know, you don't go backwards, you go forward. You look at, but at that moment, you're not thinking like that. You're thinking, why don't you love me anymore? Why don't you want me anymore? And that's how you feel about life. Why am I losing? Why am I feeling like I'm the loser? Why is it that I'm not getting my moment? Why don't nobody love me? And you will be in a place where you will end up killing yourself. This is where I want you all to learn how to cut that energy off. You got to fall back, reevaluate yourselves, and stay focused. We Ride Biker for Life kept me focused and centered. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from they. Listen, the Most High was literally telling me, I've been trying to give you these signs, but I gave you what you asked for. And this was the end result of what you asked for. You were not ready to deal with what you asked for. Are you listening now, now that you're sitting in the hospital? Are you listening now, now that you have to live in somebody else's house? Are you listening now, now there's a possibility that you could die from this? I ain't finna take you out yet. No, you ain't going nowhere. You got too much stuff you got to do. But are you listening to me now? Because now you ain't got no choice. Now I'm going to show you what was in front of you, but you couldn't see it. Now are you ready to listen? This is how the Most High will. You got to be humble enough to listen to it. Your humility will get you further than your ego ever will. Y'all hear me? Your humility will get you further than your ego ever will. So I'm gonna start off like I'm gonna put these words into action. I'm grateful that for 10 years of my life, I was with the woman who I wanted to be with. I am grateful that I had the opportunity to be in love with someone that made me smile, giggle, and the whole shebang. I am grateful that I had a mother-in-law and a father-in-law that truly respected me, loved me, and to this day, my mother-in-law calls me her son till this day. I am grateful that her family still gets tattoos from me and artwork and everything. They respected me. I am grateful that I still have the same heart that I had then. It was just improved. I don't want nothing bad to happen to her. I want her to be happy. I want to be happy too. But I'm grateful that I had this moment to be around people who told me, and I quote, Mr. Riles, what is it about that? What is it about that marriage that you can't get out your system? And I said this, and a lot of men go through this. So women, if you're watching this, I want you to listen to this because I'm telling you this from a perspective of a man. Okay. Men don't like losing when they try so hard to win. And I said to the counselor, I lost and now she's with somebody else. I lost and somebody else had the opportunity to have her in their life. And that guy looked at me and he said, did you cheat on her? No. Was you homeless? Was you on drugs? No. You name it. He said a few things like no. Did you love her? Absolutely. Did you keep your word? Yes, I kept my word. I made my oath to before I got married. And before I finished everything, that man said this. Everybody, clap for this man. This man was in the Super Bowl and don't even realize it. Do you know how many people would have loved to have said if they played football that they actually was in the Super Bowl, whether they won or lost? They worked hard to get to that point. You worked hard to have that in your life. From this point on, Mr. Riles, hold on, I'm getting the message. Hold on. The counselor said to me, and I quote, from this point on, Mr. Riles, when you walk out of here, no longer would you feel bad about something that you tried your best to be good at and you didn't do anything on purpose to cause that to happen. You didn't purposely mess up your relationship. So stop feeling bad that it's no longer there. We got to get that out of you. Stop feeling bad about something that you tried to be good at and it didn't work. Stop feeling bad that you're no longer married to that woman. Stop feeling as if you lost. You didn't lose. You can start over again. It's 8,000 opportunities for one man. There's over 8,000 women to one man. That means you got 8,000 choices of other women that you could be with and enjoy having a relationship with other than this woman. There are more women on this planet than men. And you crying over this one? Maybe this was God's way of saying, I'm going to remove this from you so that you can get what I wanted you to have in the first place. Just because it didn't work that time, that ain't the end of your story. Work on you. Sit in your quiet space. Work on you. Fix you. Fix you. Learn how to take you out. Learn how to take you out. Learn how to enjoy being on your own and by yourself. Because if people can see that you're doing this for yourself first, you ain't thinking about everybody else. You know how many people they on social media? Follow me. People on social media out of town, at a party, at a movie, at a dinner. They doing all this and then they put themselves on social media. Why do they do that? Why do people spend so much time on social media showing everybody what they're doing? Why do these beautiful women with these voluptuous bodies look on social media? How many videos do you see our black women, our white women, our Hispanic women, and even our Asian women, they online showing their bodies? They at the gym and they make sure they wear the tightest outfits so you can see everything on them. Because that is some of the worst low self-esteem that you can ever experience. Why you asking me for my Brian? Why you asking me for my credit score? All right, see that's a trick. That's a trick. That's a trick. You see these beautiful women on social media, and they're literally showing how beautiful they are on the outside. But if you sit down and have a conversation with them, their mind, their what comes out of their mouth is nasty. It's undisciplined. It's ghetto. It's uncivilized. Because that is the only way that they can show some type of confidence, and it's not confidence, it's insecurity. All right, Brian Wells, you said you need financial literacy. Listen, if you really want me to give you the best financial literacy advice, give me a yes, and I'll answer it for you. And it's very easy. Right? And it also coordinates with health. You see our beautiful women out here. I mean, there's a lot of them. Look on social media. Why you all have to show your bodies all the time? That should be for your man, not for the world. Why do you have to sit and actually show how much of a body you got? That's insecurity. That's not confidence. That's insecurity. If every video you make is you doing the same thing, that's insecurity. That's telling you, men, there's something that's not right with that girl. Tell me I'm lying. Some of the most beautiful women that's in Hollywood, that's in entertainment, can't keep a man, but they look good all the time. That's insecurity. That's what cancer will do to you. It will absorb everything in you and will kill you from the inside. These women are suffering from the inside, and you don't know it until you get up with them and you actually see how they really live. Observe. Stop imagining. Did y'all get that message? Okay, Brian, I'm hearing you ask me this question. Shout out to Brian Wells. He asked a question. Well, you got a good credit. Your credit is decent. Best thing I could tell you to do is this. And I learned this from somebody from New York. The number 3 and the number 15. Brian, if you remember those two numbers, the number 3 and the number 15. Now flip it. 15 and 3. 15 days before your bill is due, put some money on it. 3 days before your bill is due, put some money on it. And then on the day that your bill is due, put some more money on it. You've gotten 3 scores in 1 month. Your credit scores will go up quick. Within 6 months, your credit score will be at a surprising high rate. I learned that from somebody that deals with credit. I hope that helped. One day is equivalent to 3 days. If you remember that in everything you do, 1 day is equivalent to 3 days. Got it? If you start a regimen 1 day and you do 3 days of work, you'll be straight. That's my advice on that. Gratitude. Brian, gratitude. So before you venture into anything, look at the highs and lows, put it on paper. This is where I want to be at. And I'm going to tell you all how this worked for me. When I moved into my friend's house, shout out to my friend Blank, I stayed with him for a year trying to get myself together. I ended up getting hospitalized for the 3rd time. I ate some bad food. I got food poisoning. I was in the hospital. I had to come out. I was wearing a bag, colostomy bag. I had tubes all in me. It was messy. I moved in with my sister. And I moved in with my other sister. And I was with my sisters for 6 years. I'm wearing this bag. Came 2018, I made my first year surviving cancer. Come 2019, I was supposed to have my last surgery to get this bag off of me and start over again. COVID hit. They shut everything down. I had to wait until 2023 to get this last surgery done. So we're talking 6 years that I had to wear a colostomy bag. I'm dealing with the mental part of this. I'm working my brand. I'm literally trying to start over again. It was hard, but I still kept getting up all day, every day. I'm not going to stop until I get this done. I went from 7 murals to, at this time, it was like 40. Then I did another 20, and I'm hitting them. Then I'm working on my clothing line. I got my clothing line up. I did 40 episodes of a show called We Ride Biker for Life, the series. I'm interviewing people. I'm doing documentaries. I'm doing some of the best artwork. You can check out my pages on there. You can see the artwork that I do. And I'm still airbrushing. I moved from the south side of Chicago to the west side of Chicago and opened up a shop there. Shout out to my man, Tim Freeman. The next thing I started doing was I started working out again after I got out of the hospital, 2016. I'm working out again. I'm getting my strength back up. These people still want me to do chemotherapy. I'm telling you, the cancer wasn't a problem. I ate the wrong food. It wasn't cooked all the way, but they ain't trying to hear that. They trying to get me to do chemo. The doctor that saw me prior to me going into the hospital the third time was on, why didn't you do chemo? Why didn't you do chemo? Because I know you're trying to get some money off of me, but I didn't say that. But he kept bugging me. So I told him, okay, doc, I'll consider chemotherapy if you do this. You got to beat me doing push-ups. You can beat me doing push-ups. I'll consider doing it. Guess who beat who? I started off with 20 regular push-ups. Then I did 20 push-ups where we take the hand and we smack, give each other 5. 1, 2. And then I started doing one-hand push-ups in front of the security, in front of the nurses, and everybody that was up in there. I beat that dude. And I told him, I got this. I got this. 4 months later, by my next appointment, Dr. Mullane told me, and I quote, you can do chemo, but you really don't need it. You're at 3%. He explained to me everything that happened to me. I had stage 2 colon cancer. It only got so far and then it stopped. It did not grow. It stayed in one place. It started to reverse. A year later, I'm at 170 pounds. I got it back up. I'm back and forth 178, 179 pounds. I'm back at my original weight from 10 years ago. I'm at 181 pounds. You can do it. The last surgery that I had, and I'm going to end it here. The last surgery that I had, when they finally told me after 5 scans, a colonoscopy, and some blood work, they finally said they can do the surgery. I am in tears. Like, thank you. It's almost over. I was trying to get me an apartment before all of this, and it just didn't happen. I'm not using my head. I'm not thinking. I'm trying to rush everything. I'm tired of living in my sister's house. No disrespect to my sister. I want to be in my own place again. I want to feel like a normal human being at 50 years old. This is 8 years of my life. I got cancer. I'm separated from now my ex-wife at 42 years old. So for 8 years of my life, y'all, I'm going through this transition in my 40s. I should be in Florida enjoying the sun. When they finally told me I was going to have this surgery, right then and there, I said, and I quote, I told my nephews and nieces, they approved my surgery in February 2023. When this surgery is over, 6 months from that surgery, I'm going to be in my own place. I'm already looking for a place. I need y'all to get y'all stuff in order because I'm not going to be here. And I started after the surgery. It took me a month to get back into moving and going to work and being normal again. But I'm going to tell you, it was rough. 6 months later, I was in my apartment where I'm talking to you all at now. Because I put it in my head. And I got there. But when that happened, as I said before, when you are trying to make moves that's going to better you and put you in a better place, that's when the people who don't have your best interest start coming out and showing you what they think about you. And I got that firsthand. That's why I said at the beginning of this video, you got to start cutting people off so that you can heal. You may not be able to go out. You may not be able to go out to these parties. You may not be able to sit up here and drive the way you want to drive. You may not be able to do all the things that you want to do because it's not for you to do it as of yet, because you need to heal first. You're not healed first. You got to heal yourself first. You can't go back out there in the dating market after a divorce and think it's just going to be that easy. You got to heal from that thing first. And I'm going to give a shout out to Miss China White. She said this: you don't go back to the area where you vomited at. You don't go back to the place that you vomited at. You don't want to be in, you don't want to go back to a dirty, unsanitary, nasty place. You don't want to do that. You got to look at that situation. Them people that you cutting off, these people are vomiting. They're throwing up in your face. They're throwing up in your house, your environment, your aura. They are trashing your sacred space. You already know that if you go back there, you know what to expect. You got to cut them off. And I'm going to end it. I got a book called Ella, My Conversations with a Lady. A couple of months from now, I'll finally have that book out. I have 4 books that I put out. I'm grateful. It's about to happen for me. I'm going to be an author. Well, be a published author. I'm going to give you all a quick story from this book. I met Ella in 2019. And Ella saw me at this bar. I was making a delivery. I was dropping off an art piece for a bar. But he had to do a meeting real quick for his inventory, so he asked me to chill out. He gave me hold on. He was like, if you want something to drink or whatever, I only drink cranberry and 7-Up. That was my drink of choice at the time. I don't drink. He gave me, free drinks. So chill out, give me about 40 minutes and I'll be done with this. I'm like, cool, I wasn't doing nothing. Ella was at the bar. Ella saw me at the bar. She came to me. She said, why don't you buy me a drink and tell me who that is that's on your mind, because she's on your mind real heavy. That conversation right there turned into a 2.5-hour conversation. And from that lesson, I hope you all get something from this, because this is in my book. She asked me who it was that was on my mind, and I said, how you know somebody's on my mind? She said, I've been around a long time. I know when something's on a person's mind. And I told her, like, think about my ex-wife. I'm just freshly divorced. Mind you, when this happened, I had just had a really disagreeable conversation with her. So it was on my mind. And she said, what is it about her that you can't get off your mind? And I explained it to her. And she said, do you believe in God? I said, yeah. And she said, well, what's your faith? I was like, I was Muslim, and I still practice. I practice an Afrocentric form of spirituality. but Islam is my culture. And she said to me, okay, so you don't eat pork? I said, no. Have you ever eaten pork? Follow me with this. I said, yeah. She said, how long has it been since you stopped eating? I said, I haven't eaten pork since I was 15. And she said, what made you stop? And I told her, a brother told me, if you stop eating it for 40 days and you try to eat it again, your body's going to reject it. And she said, okay, so did you do that? And yeah. It said, when you ate it, what did you think about it? I said, I can't believe I was eating this. And she said, that's exactly how you have to look at your ex-wife. Did y'all get that? At one point in time, eating pork chops was a good, I loved pork chops. You couldn't tell me anything about pork chops. But she explained to me, yeah, it was good at that one point. But after you let it go, and then you tried to go back to it, you couldn't eat it no more. Your body rejected it. That's how you have to look at her. At one point in time, it was good for you, but now you realize if you ever go back to that, you know that it's not going to get any better. You can't go back. When she broke it down like that to me, that sparked something in me. And that's what I'm telling you all. You have to cut some things off so that you can move forward. And my godmother, Miss Jackie Burton, I miss that woman. She died that same year. Actually, it was the same time that I went to go to her funeral that this occurred. She had said to me, you got to look at this like you are in your house and you got a box of pictures or a drawer with nothing but your pictures. And you go into those picture books and you go back and you look at all of these memories that you had and you reminisce about these memories. And after a certain amount of time, you take those pictures and you put them back into the box, back into that drawer, and you close that drawer and you go on doing something else. That is the message that I want to give you all tonight. You're cutting things off that no longer serve your highest will so that you can continue serving your highest purpose. Give thanks for that moment, and I'm learning that now. I'm grateful that I can honestly say I went through this. It was a hard thing for me to go through a divorce that I didn't want, to realize that the woman that I was with for all these years, we're no longer together. But don't let that experience determine who you are. Let that experience make you a better person. And that's all these videos that I make and the content I make on these pages. This is all that I want this to be about. If somebody took this message and they got better because of it, I did my job. The same way that Brother Williams came to my life to help me be better. The same way that Brother Williams came to my life, made me better. The same way that this counselor brother said to me, and I quote, no longer do you come in here and leave out feeling bad about something that you tried to be good at. Sometimes what you have to do until you are completely healed, you got to fall back. I had to stop trying to get an apartment because I was just exhausted of trying to get an apartment and nobody was paying attention to me and I had the money to move in and all that. It wasn't time. I had to fall back and just, okay, Spirit, what is it that I'm not doing? You know what I'm trying to do. And by the grace of just sitting back and really thinking about what it was I was doing. I forgot that I had a cousin that was in real estate. That man found me an apartment in less than a week. Less than a week. But I had to fall back. And that's what I'm saying to you all tonight. I appreciate you all watching me. I appreciate y'all following me. I hope you got something from this message. I got over 1,000 likes on the TikTok. Thank y'all so much. Please start going to the YouTube page, We Ride for a Cure. I repeat, please start going to the YouTube page, We Ride for a Cure. This video is being recorded on the YouTube page as well. So you can see this if you missed it, if you just came in. Okay? All right. For those who are in the detox camp, check your messages. I will be sending you messages shortly. And I appreciate you all watching. And as I say all the time, I command you to be great. I command you to be prosperous. I command you to be greater today than you were yesterday. Take some time for yourself. I'm usually listening to music, but I chose not to play any music. I wanted to stay focused and just listen to this quietness. The quietness is the greatest gift you can get. All right? I'm getting sleepy. You all be safe. Again, if you're on TikTok and you follow me, please note that after January, I will no longer be doing live videos on this content on TikTok other than my motorcycle page and my art page. I will no longer do any videos concerning health concerns on TikTok. I will be moving it towards my YouTube page. If you see anything brand new from me on this TikTok page after January 31st, it will only be to inform people where to go on YouTube and the content that we will be speaking on. Well, sorry, and the content that I will be speaking on that night. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for supporting. I'm out. All right, everybody. So I just came off of TikTok. And again, appreciate you all watching. We was on for 1 hour and 22 minutes to be exact. Brian, thank you. Dayton, gratitude for watching. I appreciate everybody watching the video. And if you're still on, Richard, Gonzinia, I appreciate y'all. You can go to my YouTube page called We Ride BFL to see all my motorcycle content. If you would like to see some of my artwork, you can go to the Portraits by Surf on Facebook and Airbrush by Surf on TikTok to see some of the videos of my art content as well. And I hope you all got something from this video. I really appreciate you all watching. As of now, this video will be processed later on so you all can actually watch it later. And I hope you learned something from it. I will have more content dealing with health concerns coming soon. So stay tuned. Peace.